Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the Ghouls Arena, and inside, it's hockey time. It's Hawco time is what it is. Allan Hawco, how are ya?
I am best kind. Welcome to the Ghouls.
We tracked you down in the homeland.
I'm very grateful that you were able to come.
I can't play that. Oh, how I love a visit to the City of Champions. Well, one fella who spent the last 6 years co-starring with the City of St. John's is NL fella Allan Hawco. Since Doyle signed off last December, Hawco hit the ground running with every kind of project, keeping busier than ever. But never too busy that he can't make time for his fantastic fans and the fine folks in his hometown hood of the Goulds. Well, that's where we connected, just 10 minutes or so outside the city at the Goulds Sports Arena ice skating rink, where Allan had been invited to drop the puck for a provincial tournament. After all the meeting and greeting, we caught up to the man to talk about exactly that.
I haven't stopped. I've been writing Caught, the adaptation of the book, and
I'm glad you brought up Caught, Allan, because I travel with it wherever I go. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm reading it, I picture you.
well, that's good. If you were reading it and going, I don't know, Hawco's off his head, he's not going to be any good in this role, that would be a drag.
This is a different role for you.
It certainly is. It's like a challenge. It's a challenge for me as a writer too, because doing an adaptation of one of our most famous novelists is a challenge. It's certainly intimidating, and I'm excited by the fact that it's a completely different tone and direction than what I'm used to with Doyle, and it's kind of exciting. I'm having a lot of fun writing, and I'm writing with John Krzank, who's a fantastic writer. You know him from a million things, and it's really interesting to have a Bible, a true book, a substantial piece of work, to be able to reference when you're breaking these kinds of stories, and versus it all coming from your head or Perry's head or whatever from our writers. And it's just interesting to go back to that text and sort of whenever you have a question or a challenge, it's there. She's done the work for you.
And it's so lush. Her writing is unbelievably detailed. Hey?
Yeah. And she's the gold I find is in an eighth of a page of description about a flashback is where a bunch of gold will come from. And the threads that she has going throughout the book it's really, really rich, and she's such a brilliant writer, and the characters are so clearly defined.
Yes.
And there's so much there to play with, and she's really open, and she's given us carte blanche. So
cool. The other side of this is where St. John's was such a character in Doyle. This is the nation.
Yeah.
And where are you? How is it the scope of the production? Like, how are you doing that now?
That's going to be a challenge because, there's always budgetary constraints, and something this epic, like the Cod, is an extremely epic tale. That's a large portion of it in the past happens in Newfoundland in 1970, so it's period.
Right.
That's going to be a challenge. And then you also have him traveling in present time across the country, but it's also period. So he spends a lot of time in Nova Scotia, Montreal, big block portion of Montreal, big block in Ottawa. And then, of course, there's like the South, there's Colombia, and there's Mexico. So that's BC. There's going to be, I think that's part of that's what sort of drew me to it, is that it is it's bigger than just this place. It's set in Newfoundland.
Yes.
In a lot of ways, these characters are from Newfoundland, but it is national. It does have a whole national scope and then international. So that's kind of what drew me to it. Right. It's in my wheelhouse, but it is completely different.
Right.
So as a writer, that was kind of exciting.
You're excited, I can tell.
Yeah, I am.
I'm really
excited.
That's cool. All right, very good. Okay, so now I ask you this. A couple of things, mainly because I get emails about it all the time. When is the movie coming out? Now, I recognize that the show just wrapped, and you guys have a million other balls in the air. But what the heck is going on with Chafe? Has he got it done? Where are you with it? Or is it on the back burner? And I can just put it to rest.
They were probably doing a movie.
Yes,
yeah, well, we're not. Perry broke a plot for it at the end of the final season that I totally love, and I think the CBC likes. We really haven't had enough time to. I think if we did a movie really quickly, it wouldn't be the right. It sounds like I'm making an excuse, but we want to do that. But we also want to give everybody enough time away from it to kind of get perspective.
Right.
We want our audience to feel like we have such diehards. We want them to.
You really do.
Yeah, and we don't want to shove it down their throats, right? Like, we want it to be like an organic thing that happens, and when it appears, I think
when he hauls out that organic word, we're in for a long wait.
Do I say that a lot?
No, but it just always leads me to like 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 months of waiting? Whenever you say organic.
Months, 10 months. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be months. It's going to be a bit of time. Yeah,
I mean, years.
I would say a couple of years. Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about
2 years.
the timing of caught then, because is that going to ramp up shortly, or are you close, or how does that whole thing work?
Well, I'm not at liberty to make that decision, right? I'm not at liberty to say, I should say, and the decision is not really mine. The distributor and our broadcaster is going to really have the final say in that. I would be ready to go. I could be ready to go this summer, but I've written a lot more in a lot less time.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting though.
But
so that's imminent, we could say.
I wouldn't push it though to go. I wouldn't push it to go this summer because it might not be. We might not have all the tendons sort of in place yet. You know what I mean? Like the tissue wouldn't be fully formed, and I wouldn't want to rush it. So we're going to wait until probably next year.
Okay.
That would be where my goal would be to shoot in maybe May or maybe even February of next year, because so much of it has to happen in the south, and then you could sort of time it out to shoot the rest of it in Nova Scotia, Ontario, probably through to summer.
Right. Cool. Okay. So that means that Hyena Road will come out well in advance of anything. So that's your next. Is that the next time we're going to see you anywhere?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was that like? Because you and I talked, you had just flown back, and then I think you were flying back again or something. We haven't really had a chance to talk about the production, but that's coming out,
The fall.
The fall. But I mean, totally different again, right?
Yeah, so such a great experience. Paul Gross is, everyone knows, a very good friend of mine and a guy I respect. And it's the first time he ever directed me, I realized. I've worked on a bunch of his productions, and he's worked on mine, but he's never been directed.
Good director?
He's never directed. Yeah, he's an excellent director. I really trust him. Like I was lucky enough to see a screening of it for a test audience a little while ago. We kind of snuck in and watched it, and it's fantastic.
6-6, I have contact, over.
3-9 Alpha acknowledged.
6-6, sit rep. 1 times insurgent appears to be holding an IED. Stand by. Send it.
It's a ribbon of tarmac 5 meters wide. Its pathway runs straight through hell. And the farther we go, the more we leave behind.
And I'm really happy with the work I'm doing, and I'm playing a very small part. Not a small part, but I'm not playing. Like, I've wrapped on a Wednesday and started shooting on a Friday.
Right.
Like I couldn't have played a bigger part, and I don't think I could have done that project with a different director. I had to go fully. I was prepped for it in a certain way because I'd been reading the script for 4 years.
Okay.
And I knew the character pretty good. But I really trusted Paul. Paul trusted me, and we had this really we have this unspoken language, and we can be extremely frank with each other. Paul can tell me directly, like not many other people can have the guts to say that, say the things that he can say to me, and me not take any of it personally,
Right.
because we're trying to get to the end result, which is I want to be good, and he wants the movie to be good.
Sure.
So we have a very quick shorthand, two takes per.
Wow.
Like bam, bam. I love the way he operates as a
Yeah.
director and as a writer. I really love his material. And John Krasank, I've known, who's working with me on COD, has written with Paul they're writing partners. They've been writing partners for years.
Okay.
So that's how I was introduced to
Wow.
Krasank all those years ago. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think it's going to be fun for people to see, and anyone who follows like my career or anything like that, if God help you, but if that's something you're ever interested in, I think that you might be happy with it. I think he's a really cool character, and I'm covered in tattoos, and I got a mustache.
I saw that. I joked around to Jill Thomas Hines. I was like, "Look at this! What do they say about imitation is the finest form of flattery?"
Yeah,
But it came off, right?
I could never, I could never imitate Joel. Hey, and Cast No Shadow. Which
Oh, hello!
which we produced.
I mean, It's beautifully shot, first of all.
Yeah, and I'm so proud to be a part of it in some
Yeah.
small way, you know. And it's like Joel wrote it, and Christian Sparks directed it. He did a brilliant job.
First time feature, too. Let's be clear.
Yeah, there's no flies on him, man. And Joel and Percy, of course, Joel's son, is a breakout role for a young fellow like that. And it's no doubt. I mean, Sherry White's his mother.
Right.
She's a brilliant actress and writer, and Joel, of course, being such a brilliant actor. I'm a huge fan of Joel's. I thought they were brilliant together. I love it. Big fan of being part of that. It's been a cool year.
Very cool. Okay, well, so you have to have other things, though. This take the shot. I know you've got stuff going on. What can you tell me?
I can't tell you anything this second, but I tell you what, I promise I will get, as soon as we know, I'll make sure that you know about it.
Is that true?
Yeah, there's something cool. Something really cool coming down the pipe.
Nice.
And Perry's writing a couple of shows right now for CBC. And the Blackies, Rob Blackie and Peter Blackie, are writing a spectacular piece for Discovery, for Bell.
Nice.
That's really, really special. And we're developing a number of things, and it's like this is why it's hard for me to feel bad about the fact that Doyle is over, because Doyle, it was an organic process to let it.
We should have a drinking game.
Every time Alan Hawco says
Put
organic.
them all together.
It had a natural lifespan, and we didn't want it to. Imagine if we stretched it and
You're right.
people were
You're
tired.
wanting more. Right?
Yeah, and I just felt like we would have been pushing it. And I was almost already pushing it in season 5, not season 6. But somewhere in the middle of season 5, I was rubbing my head. Perry came in and kind of took the reins and said, "Don't worry, man. Have a seat. I'll take care of this." And I just felt like we were pushing things in a direction that was edging on danger in terms of the freshness. I saw recently one of the first episodes of Doyle, and I was so proud of it. There was no other show being made anywhere like it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and particularly in our country, to have like AC/DC in shows, and like have car chases that look like real car chases, and fight scenes that look like that are motivated by whatever's action is happening in the show. It was kind of a nice breath of fresh air. But TV also evolved completely in the time that we were making that show.
Yeah, it did.
Now everybody's standards are so high. What we were setting out to make at the time, we had high standards, but it was a particular genre that doesn't have a home anymore, at least not in terms of the drive of what I am as a creator. So it was the right time to enter.
Yeah.
And now we're excited about the future.
Exciting. Okay, two things quickly, because I know you got to go. We have to congratulate you on Book of Negroes, because what a ratings, like beautiful production, but like, let's be clear, wow, did people watch it?
A lot of people watched it. Very exciting. Nice to be a part of something that has such historical significance and is such a part of our...
Did you watch it, Alan?
Yeah.
Did you sit at home and watch it, or did you are you like that? Do you watch yourself?
Well, I don't know anymore what I am. You know what I mean? Like what I was before Republic of Doyle, I used to watch things and...
Because you had to. You were in the suite, like...
Yeah, Doyle I had to. I watched every...
Yeah.
And edited almost every episode. By the end, I stopped editing and the boys did it. But for the first 5 seasons, first 4 seasons for sure, thousands of hours watching yourself. You gain some perspective, and you can certainly, if you ever had any love for yourself, you fall out of it pretty quickly. Well, you must have the same thing, because you have to put these things together. I watched that one because I was curious about how it was all going to come together, and it's a part of our canon, as a country, and
Right.
I was pretty excited by it. And I also was playing such a dramatic departure from what I was doing in Doyle, so I wanted to see how the edges were on that. There were some things that changed, and some things that I was happy with.
And you age in that one too. So because I'm imagining you aging in this, like how I remember the end. I don't know how that's going to work out, but anyway, okay.
I haven't read that yet, though.
You haven't read the book?
Just joking.
You're so funny. Okay, quickly now. One other thing now, and it's completely slipped my mind. Just as
Just
right.
adapted it right, like my idea.
Just from the cover, there's a lot of bikinis and whatnot, eh?
There's ocean and there's the word cod. I imagine is about fishing. So.
And chicks and bikinis. Okay, so the Company Theater.
That's what
then.
that is.
Yes.
I thought that was a fish. I'm half blind. See, a fish in a bikini.
Let's talk the Company Theater very quickly. Have you left the theater now? You got the monkey off your back and you're done?
No, my God, no. I've spent my whole life in the theater. I'll go back. Yeah, Phil and I are talking about something. Phil's on fire. He's doing such great stuff there, and he doesn't need me. And I'm happy. Cheers, buddy. I'm happy to be, still associated with the Company Theater, and I always will be. I need to do a play there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just in Ottawa at the NAC with Jill Kiley, who's from the Rules. She didn't skate in this arena, but she skated on the pond just over that hill.
Nice.
Which is where her house was. And we were announcing their season. I was kind of interviewing her for to kind of get the goods on what the season was. And it was fun to be in the theater and be around the company. And, that's going to be, that for me is like in my blood.
Right.
So
okay, now, and again, there's just, it never stops with him. But you said interviewing, and I can't let you go without talking about Q because you rocked it.
Did I?
Oh my God. Listen, my mom called me. How long were you on each day? Like 2 hours, right?
Hour and a half.
She would call me 3, 4 times. He's so good.
Go away.
Oh, he's so good.
Your mother would?
Yes, and didn't you see my tweet? His enunciation is perfect, and his diction is wonderful, and he's enthusiastic. I was like, Mom, could you just let me go? I got to listen. I got to, work and whatnot. She thought you were the bee's knees. What's that all about?
That's nice. That's very nice. Well, you never know. Like, I was nervous about people like you listening to it, like real journalists, because yeah, no, I mean, that's not my bag, and I don't really know how to do that thing. So it was a fun experiment. I was a tourist.
Did you like it?
Yeah, my wife's a real journalist, so she thought it was hilarious because I was kind of going through the process of like Death Cab for Cutie interview. I had to ask him about his divorce, right?
Right.
And I was like, debating with the producers, and those producers have been through
everything
over the past,
Right.
And I just was there to kind of sort of lend my support and do what I had to do to make sure they
But
made
you ran the gamut. I mean, you talked Molly Parker, guys who want to have elephants in circuses. I mean,
that was a tough one because I'm not experienced like that guy with the freak show guy. I wanted to throw down on him, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I didn't have enough comfort in the zone of that chair yet.
You handled yourself great.
All right.
You
well,
did.
that's nice.
No, you were great.
And I never want to be comfortable there because it's not a career that I want to pursue because...
Okay. Well, that's what I wondered. We thought you were going to throw it all away and be a radio host.
No.
No. Okay.
I would do it again, though. I'd love to go back.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have a bit more time there so I could hone my skills a bit more. And I respect them so much. And they're you'd love it.
A good crew.
What a great group, man.
Yeah. Well, they have to be. My God, the shows they put together. Allan Hawco, we got to let you go because you're in demand. You're going from one end of Newfoundland to the other, right? Or one end
We're
to
going
St.
from
John's.
the Ghouls to Torbay, yeah. So
that's far.
Yeah.
Anyway, God love you, and thanks for making the time.
Thanks.
Good to see you.